Okay, so we were coming to meditation, and as I was saying, now there are a lot of conflicting teachings in Buddhism. So as far as meditation is concerned, we must refer to one sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, where Venerable Ananda was asked what type of meditation is praised by the Buddha. And Venerable Ananda replied, the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, the fourth jhana. From here you can see that the Buddhist meditation are the four jhanas. And the Buddha also said, the Venerable Ananda also said that the type of meditation that is not praised by the Buddha is the type of meditation where the five hindrances are not eliminated. If you meditate and you cannot get rid of the five hindrances, then that type of meditation is not praised by the Buddha. And in the suttas, it is very clear from another Majjhima Nikaya sutta that the five hindrances are eliminated when a person attains the jhanas. Even in the Digha Nikaya, when the Buddha talked about attainment of the four jhanas, just before entering the first jhana, the Buddha said that the five hindrances will be eliminated. And the Buddha gave several similes to make us understand that this elimination of the five hindrances is a quite permanent elimination. I gave the simile of somebody who was in prison and then he's freed. So in the same way, we are imprisoned by the five hindrances. When we attain the first jhana, we are freed of the five hindrances. And then also a simile of a debtor who owes people money, and he has paid up his debt. He doesn't owe people anymore. So in the same way, when the five hindrances are eliminated, then they are also got rid of permanently in that sense. So other similes the Buddha gave to make us understand that the five hindrances are only eliminated when you attain the jhanas. That being so, the type of meditation praised by the Buddha is only samatha meditation where you attain the jhanas. What object you use is not important, whether you use the breath or you use 32 parts of the body or you use kasina or what. But the end result of the meditation should be to attain the jhanas. Because the Buddha said the reason for us being blur, not seeing things clearly, is because of the five hindrances enveloping us, covering us. But when we attain the jhanas, then the five hindrances drop away. When the Buddha says that the five hindrances are eliminated, it doesn't mean that it is down to ground zero. It is not down to ground zero in the sense sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt. And these five hindrances, they are called hindrances because when they are strong, in the suttas the Buddha says they obsess our mind. They obsess our mind. They control our mind so that it becomes a hindrance to us. But when we eliminate the five hindrances, we cut it down just like cutting lalang. If you are like when our vihara first started, we had this ferns, kind of grass, which grew up to about 4 feet high. So if you want to walk, it's a big hindrance. But if you cut it down to like half a foot or a few inches, then it's no more a hindrance. Even though it is still there, even though the roots are not eliminated, there is a possibility that it will grow again. But once they are cut down, they are no more a hindrance. So once a person attains the jhanas, it is in the same way, the five hindrances are cut to a very low level, so that there is no more considered a hindrance. And if a person meditates continually, It's just like cutting the lalang. Frequently, they will never grow big enough to be a hindrance. So once you have, in fact, once a person attains the jhanas, then you have experienced what the Buddha calls piti and sukha, delight and happiness or bliss. Then that person will be inclined to meditate more and more. So that being so, if that person meditates constantly, frequently, then the hindrances will never grow up to become hindrance again. In that sense, it is permanently eliminated. So, Buddhist meditation is the 4 jhanas. Now, how do we practice Buddhist meditation? The method taught by the Buddha, and which he himself practiced, is Anapanasati. But actually, that was not the first meditation. The first meditation the Buddha taught was the 32 parts of the body, where you recite. The 32 parts are like head, hair, body, hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bone, marrow, kidney, heart, liver, midriff, spleen, lung, bowel, entrail, gorge, dung, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tear, grease, spittle, snot, oil of the joint, urine. Then you reverse it. So you can either practice it slowly or fast. If you practice slowly, it is a contemplation of the 32 parts of the body. So contemplation is called vipassana. And if you recite it fast, it becomes a concentration exercise. If you recite it fast, your mind then cannot run away so easily. If you recite just one short phrase, like Buddho, 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 the mind can run now, Amitofo, Amitofo. But you recite head, hair, body, hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bone, marrow, kidney, heart, like that. Then your mind has to concentrate. Otherwise, you are not able to recite all the 32 parts. So that was the first meditation the Buddha taught. And why did the Buddha teach this meditation when he himself never practiced? We find in the suttas, the Buddha said, in the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha told his disciples, if anybody asks what type of meditation the Tathagata practiced, the Buddha said, you tell them the Tathagata practiced Anapanasati. Before enlightenment, the Buddha said he practiced Anapanasati, and even after enlightenment, he practiced Anapanasati. Those of you who don't have cushion, there's a cushion at the back, you can sit, because the floor is cold. So, Anapanasati is the Buddha's meditation. And why did he teach the 32 parts of the body? Possibly, or probably, because as Sammasambuddha, before he teaches, he will contemplate the past Buddhas. What did the past Sammasambuddhas teach? So he probably found that the past Sammasambuddhas taught the 32 parts of the body. Because all beings, we are very much attached to the body. We are very much attached to the body and the mind. So maybe most probably that's why the Buddha taught these 32 parts of the body, although he did not practice himself. And then later, because of being disgusted with their bodies, many monks committed suicide. They were persuaded to commit suicide by a crazy monk. So the monk helped them to take their lives. So after that, the Venerable Ananda pleaded with the Buddha to teach another meditation. Then only the Buddha taught Anapanasati. So Anapanasati is one of the favorite meditations that are being taught. So I will talk a bit about Anapanasati. In description of the practice of Satipatthana, the Buddha talk about contemplation of 4 objects, the body, feelings, mind, and Dhamma. Dhamma being the Buddha's teachings. And the first object, the body, the Buddha said that the breath is considered a body. The breath is considered. So you're supposed to be mindful of the breath body as it goes in and as it goes out. So you'll be very clear that the Buddha's teaching on Anapanasati is meditation on the breath body. That means on the breath itself. Because nowadays a lot of monks will tell you to practice at one point. At one point. This is not the Buddha's teaching. This is the teaching from the Visuddhimagga. They tell you to practice, to contemplate at the tip of your nose or on the top of your lips, upper lip, like that. So this is not what the Buddha meant. What the Buddha says is when you have a long breath, you know there is a long breath. When you have a short breath, you know there is a short breath. So normally when we practice meditation on the breath, we observe the breath going in and the breath going out, going in, going out. But very soon, the mind will get pulled away by thoughts. Our thoughts, the tendency of the mind to flow is very strong. That is the reason for samsara. Samsara exists because of the flow of consciousness. Consciousness creates the world. So when a person becomes liberated or becomes enlightened, he has destroyed this flow of the asavas, these uncontrolled mental outflows, which is basically the outflow of consciousness, because consciousness creates the world. So when the 6 consciousness stops flowing, then there's no more world. You have destroyed samsara. This tendency of the mind to flow is extremely strong. The moment you are not concentrating on something and an object, your mind will start to flow. In the daytime, we daydream. At night, we night dream. So, as soon as you fall asleep, you will be dreaming already. So actually dreaming sleep is a big obstacle to meditation because when we sleep, we allow the mind to flow. So the tendency of the mind to flow becomes stronger. Just like if you want to progress in meditation, if you sleep a lot, you cannot progress. If you sleep a lot, the body will be very happy. But the mind won't be very happy. The body will go sideways. For young people grow up, for old people grow sideways. So when we meditate, we get a hold on the mind instead of allowing the mind to flow. That is the everyday mind. We try to get a hold on it and don't allow it to flow. And to make us understand this, the Buddha gave a very good simile. The simile of the hunter who caught 6 animals. In this simile, the Buddha said a hunter caught 6 animals and he tied a rope around the neck of each one of them. These 6 animals, first is a bird. You can take it to be an eagle. A bird, and secondly a monkey, third a snake, fourth a crocodile, fifth a dog, sixth a hyena. So after tying the 6 ropes around their necks, this hunter tied the 6 ropes into a knot and he let the 6 animals loose. What happens? The eagle wants to fly into the air. The monkey wants to go up the tree. The snake wants to go into a hole to hide. The crocodile wants to go into the river. The dog wants to go into town to look for food. And the hyena wants to go up the hill. So these 6 animals are pulling in 6 different directions. At any one time, one is stronger, he will pull and the others have to follow him. After a while he's tired, another one will pull, the others have to follow him. So they keep going in 6 different directions. So the Buddha says that this is the everyday mind, uncontrolled, just like the 6 animals. So you look here carefully, this is exactly the momentary concentration that the Vipassana people are talking about. Because one moment it follows one object, after another moment it follows another object, right? This is the 6 animals are the objects pulling in 6 different directions. So this momentary concentration is the everyday mind. And the Buddha says this is an uncontrolled, undisciplined mind. So how to discipline these 6 animals? The Buddha said these 6 ropes you must not tie into a knot and let them loose. These 6 ropes you must tie around a strong pole. So whichever direction they fly or climb or run or walk, they can only go round and round the pole until they are tired, and then they will sleep obediently under the pole. So the Buddha says in the same way, instead of allowing the mind to go out through the 6 sense doors, our 6 senses are pulled in 6 different directions. Sights or forms want us to see. Sound will pull us to hear. Smell will pull us to smell. And taste will pull us our attention. And touch will pull our attention. These make up the 6 external world, and the inside, the thoughts, the mind will pull us to think. So these 6 sense objects are pulling us out through the 6 senses, through the 6 sense doors. So our mind becomes scattered. The Buddha says originally our mind is bright. Or basically our mind is bright, but because it is scattered out through the 6 directions, when we close our eyes, then it's all darkness. But for the Arahants who have disciplined their mind until their mind is one pointed all the time, 24 hours a day, then whether they open their eyes or they close their eyes, it's always bright. Night is just like day, day is just like night, bright all the time. So coming back to this simile, the Buddha says to control our mind, instead of allowing it to run out through the 6 senses, we must pull it to one object. This pole represents one object. Our friend is already pulled away by the thoughts. So this pole represents one object, and whenever our attention goes somewhere else, we pull it back to this one object. For example, we are practicing Anapanasati, mindfulness of the breath. So we are observing the breath going in and going out, going in and going out. After some time, somebody sounds the horn. Horn. We get pulled away for a short time. We can't help it, but we quickly pull it back. Don't go and start thinking, who is that? So we... don't say note. Also, if you start saying note, you get pulled away. So just ignore it. What in Zen Buddhism they say, more lie, more chant. 4 lie, 4 chant. If the Buddha comes, you cut him off. When the Mara comes, also you cut him off. Cut him off means don't pay attention. Don't pay attention. So when we are practicing this breath meditation, just focus on your breath. Whatever object tries to pull you away, whether it's sights or sounds or smells, etc., just ignore it totally and just keep your attention on the breath. Now this breath, just now I mentioned, is the breath body, it's not the breath, it's not the point. So the breath body, some people, if you like, you can follow the breath right to the end and out, in and out. But you see, this breath meditation, there are some teachers will teach you to observe the breath very clearly. I feel this is not good. Why? Because if you are too obsessed with observing the breath, after a while you find you cannot see. You cannot see. Why you cannot see? Because of your sloth and torpor. Out of these 5 hindrances, when we meditate, 2 are very pronounced. Two you can observe will disturb you much. First one is restlessness. When you're trying to concentrate on your breath, your mind will go back to your office, your mind will go back to your family and all these things. So this is called restlessness. You cannot keep still. The other one is sloth. Sloth and torpor. It's sloth and torpor. So sloth and torpor will block your view. So if you try to see your breath too clearly, actually you have a brick wall in front of you. After some time, you cannot see through the brick wall. So it's no need to try to see your breath clearly. But there's one advice I like to give is that normally many people, when you sit down in meditation, we are not relaxed enough. So you breathe. When you breathe naturally, actually you are breathing only up to your chest. Bring up to your chest. Shallow breathing. This is not relaxed breathing. That shows your body is not relaxed enough. If you observe a baby sleeping, when the baby is fast asleep, you find the tummy goes up and down. When it's totally relaxed, even an adult, when it's totally relaxed, the tummy will automatically inflate and deflate, like a balloon, inflate and deflate. So when we are relaxed, the breath must go down to our abdomen, what we Chinese call the tan tian. So you make a little effort for your breath to come up to your abdomen, so that your abdomen becomes like a balloon. But you don't have to use too much strength. You don't have to inflate a big balloon. Small balloon will do. Just a little bit, just to help you notice. So you just relax and make your breath go down to your abdomen. So if you just be observant of 2 points, actually you're observing the breath. One is the end of your breath, which is your abdomen being inflated a bit, and then the other end of your breath, which is your nostril, the air coming out. So you just observe these 2 points. The fact that you observe down to your abdomen helps you to relax more. And since you're not putting too much attention on observing the breath, it doesn't run away. If you keep trying to see too clearly, after a while, a brick wall will come in front of you and you cannot see your breath at all. It's just important is to relax and let the breath go down to your abdomen. So observe it, just observe your abdomen slightly becoming inflated and deflated, and the breath coming out, and your nostril, these two ends. And then since your breath is coming down to your abdomen, you are relaxing your body. You are allowing your body to relax. So your breath is obvious all the time, or most of the time. So that's all you do. Just observe the extremities of your breath, your abdomen and your nostril. And keep doing that. If anything comes to pull your attention, you just ignore it. Anything comes, you ignore it. And then if pain comes, you bear it. And if it becomes a bit unbearable, normally that is due to somewhere your veins are being constricted. For example, if you sit, some meditation teachers, especially Mahayana, they like to insist that you sit with a full lotus. You can sit with a full lotus, but after a while you find your veins are being cramped, and the pain comes faster. If you sit with a single lotus, some people like to sit with a single lotus, it's okay. But even then, with a single lotus, your bottom leg is being compressed, and the blood doesn't flow so well. So after a while, also you get the pain. So the easier way to do is just to do the Burmese posture, to sit like this, your legs side by side. But even then, after a while, you find you get a bit of numbness. Why? Because your cushion here at the end of your cushion here, when your leg touches the edge of the cushion, it's compressing on your leg, so it's constricting your veins. So after a while also you find numbness, uncomfortable. So what do? If you can bear it, you bear it. If you find it's a bit distracting, too distracting, you move slightly to the side. So release the pressure and rub a bit. Massage a bit for the blood to flow. And then for a short while. And then after that you put down. And it makes a difference. Makes a difference after you find the blood has passed through there. It becomes a problem because when the blood cannot flow, then it stays there and then becomes stale blood. Stale blood, it causes you the pain. But when you ease it by lifting up your leg and rubbing, then the stale blood flows. Once it flows, then you will go into your heart and then it gets recharged with oxygen and all that, and there is no more pain. So little tricks like this you need to do. Don't follow some instructions of some meditation teachers that tell you to bear it. You keep bearing it, then your attention is all on the pain. Then you are not meditating on your breath, not meditating on your pain. That is not Anapanasati. That's not. And you meditate on your pain, it doesn't give you concentration. What you want is to get concentration. You meditate on your pain, it doesn't give you concentration at all. It gives you the opposite. You become more frustrated. Yes or not? So, I think that's all I need to say. If I have anything to ask, anything to say, anything to comment? As we grow older, our body becomes weaker, our mind becomes weaker. As we grow older, it's harder to practice. So, those of you who still have time, means earlier than 50. Once you pass 45, or 40, you will notice at the age of 40, you this lofa ngan, yes or not? Your eye changes, you cannot read the newspaper. And then at 45, your body heat will be reduced. Also, I used to meditate in the caves. The wind blow when I was younger. Strong wind blow also no problem. The body like all on fire now. But at the age of 45, the wind go into the bone. Yes.
The population in the world is increasing all the time. According to the teaching of Buddha, it means more and more people are becoming human beings. Is it true that the people have gained the right view?
No. Actually, even though now people say the population is increasing, at one time it was much more. In the suttas, it is mentioned that at one time the world was overflowing with humans. That cities and towns were so near each other, next to each other, that a cockerel can walk one town to another. So, anyway, the world is all mind-made. The world is all consciousness, made of consciousness. If you analyze your body, then you know your body is made out of atoms. The whole body is made out of atoms. And now science tells us that atoms are basically 99.9999% empty, just like space. If you look into space at night, you find a star here, a star there, but 99.999% is empty. So similarly with an atom. And since we are all made out of atoms, our whole body is 99.999% empty. But this emptiness is actually consciousness. So this consciousness, when it becomes active, the sixth consciousness flows, and we start dreaming. This world is a creation of consciousness. Even this physical world, people think nama rupa, this rupa, physical world, is very different from nama. It is not very different. Why? Because rupa, the physical world, in the Buddha's teachings consists of 4 things: earth, water, fire, wind. Earth, water, fire, wind is the perception of hardness. Earth means hardness or softness. earth, water. Water is a liquid that gives things a shape, a form. And then fire is heat, heat or cold. And wind is motion. All these, like the hardness, is a perception. It's a perception. So perceptions are different for different people. For you, this wall is very hard because when you try to walk across the wall, you get a lump on your head. But Arhan can walk through the wall. Arhan is not hard to an Arhan, because his mind is different from yours. So you must remember, perception, this physical world is only a perception, and perception is a type of consciousness. It's a type of consciousness. So the physical world is also consciousness, created by consciousness. Fire, for example, if you see yourself reborn in hell, the flames of hell are burning you, you're crying out for help. But the Arhan comes to visit you, he's not affected by the flame. Just came out of Samadhi. Okay, any other thing? Yeah. We also have 5. We also have 6. Yeah. After the 4 elements, we have space. That's 5. Then if you want to add a 6, then we have consciousness. Numbers don't make doesn't mean more is better.
Sometimes when the breath is simple, I kind of cannot follow whether it's in-breath or out-breath. I can't really see the difference. Should I apply mindfulness to actually look at it, or just know the movement?
You try what I mentioned just now. Try to observe your ends of your breath. You try to observe it more, then you can't see it. After a while, you cannot see it.
One thing you mentioned is another issue, which is Dhamma is a low form of gift. But you see, everything is if not, make it done. So it is considered as the lowest forms of Dhamma. Dhamma is the lowest forms.
Yeah, so you must start with dana, but after you have done dana, you must try to progress. Don't stay at the dana level. It's necessary, it's not there, it's not necessary. Otherwise, next time in a future life, you become a monk, you go and beg for your food, nobody give you food. So how? You want to meditate now? And then we can have another Q&A later. Okay, in the evening. Getting cramped already. Okay.